Well, we're actually going to get started on working on this 9410. If you followed along in the last video, you'll know that we have this frame all painted on this truck 9, which we're going to roll into the rest of this project after we get done with this one. It has also been brought to my attention that the audio hasn't been too great on these last few videos. I don't know what I've got going on, but I'm on a different camera here right now, and when I do the editing of the videos, I don't hear it on my iPad. However, the playback on the YouTube doesn't sound the greatest. So what we're working on here is this 9410. And the other day, Nate had said that the fan belt was squeaking a little bit. Well, if you recall, some time ago, we ended up putting thermostats into this tractor and a water pump because it wouldn't do a regen because the engine temperature wasn't coming up to the proper temperature, and it kept failing a regen. So we swapped out the thermostats. Then I looked up on the computer that the program that we're using, that the hours were out there quite a ways to go ahead and change the water pump, being that we had the coolant out of it. When we were doing a regen, it ended up eating the fan belt. I did notice the fan belt was getting a little narrow, so I ended up putting a used one on it, this one here. So Nate said it was squeaking a little bit. I had a new fan belt, so I said, you know what? We're home here with the spreader, or with this tractor. It was on a spreader. I'll go ahead and put a new fan belt on. And that's what we have on there, is a new one. You probably can't quite tell from the video here, but there's maybe 1/4 of an inch difference between the width of the new one and the used one. I got everything just about on there. I was tightening the bolts up for the fan, and I happened to look in on that fan shaft in behind that spring, and I seen a little real thin piece of metal kind of floating around in there, and that is this piece right here. So I was able to pull it out, and I said, well, I think that driven clutch is probably starting to come apart. So that's what we have in these boxes here. We have a drive clutch for the fan. This has what's called the Very Cool cooling system. We've got this drive clutch coming off of the front of the engine, and then we've got the driven clutch. We're going to go ahead and replace both of those. Now, from time to time, I get questions on how we keep track of our repairs, whether it be the repair interval, the oil change interval, parts, and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the office here. We're going to show you the program that we use to keep track of our equipment. This program is called TATEMS. So we'll get dialed in here. Actually, it's pulled up right now. We'll go ahead and close out and show you what this looks like when you dial into it. So it is called TATEMS, Truck and Trailer Equipment Management System. Now this is something that a trucking company would more or less use. We have just adapted it to work for what we're doing. We'll go ahead and look up the 9410, for example. We'll search that, pull this up in the program. Now on the equipment summary page, this is more or less for trucks and so on. You've got on this equipment summary page, you can put a license plate number in and the engine model and all that, which we don't have a license plate for this, but this is where I put the general information in, when we got the tractor, the serial number for looking up parts and whatever. So this will tell us that we bought this tractor on the 14th of April 2014, and this tractor was $278,000. We'll go over into, well, we've got a page that you can put your filters in. If this tractor was ready for an oil change, one of the guys could come into this computer program. He could look up the filters to see if he has them, other than looking on the tractor. We could see if we have the filters, whether it be a Napa filter or a John Deere filter. If he can't find them on the shelf, he can order them from this page here. Lube and service. This is where we put our oil change intervals in. And we also use a label maker to put the hours on the window at when they're either changed or need changing, and then there's also a reminder page on the display to also do that. When they see that this tractor is ready for a service, they could actually come into the computer and make sure, you know, hey, does it need one? Did it have one? Is that correct? But what we're actually going to be looking at here is the repairs completed page. And this will be, according to what we have in our notes here, this will be the 4th time that we have replaced this very cool fan drive. It got done in 2018 with 3,200 hours. It got done again at 5,585 hours, 5,585 hours on August 25th, 2020. And it got done again at 8,200 hours. This was the last time it was done. It was done at 8,200 hours on July 2022. We have it down here that it was $4,500 to do it then. Right around the same amount of money the last 2 prior times. However, this time here, it was right around $3,800 for those drive assembly clutches. We installed this used fan belt at 10,028 hours on the 10th of January 2024. So, the other thing you can do with this program as well, I'll show you, we don't have many parts listed for this tractor in this parts for this equipment page. There's nothing here. But trucks, for example, we have a lot of stuff listed for the trucks. We can look up brake parts, axle seals, so on and so forth. Here's truck 9, for example, the truck that's in the shop. We've got anything from airbags for the left axle. Instead of trying to figure out what one it actually has on there or what we use, we could just go into this section here, look up what we have replaced in the past, and just order that up. Sometimes the part number is on these parts, sometimes they're not. Brake shoes, for example, stuff like that. Not all the trucks use the same brake shoes. Most of our trucks are using the same brake drum, but most of them are using different brake shoes. Fan belt. I mean, how many times do you have a serpentine belt that you blow the belt and you don't find anything left of the belt, and you're trying to search for that right belt? Well, we've got the part number right here. So this is the program that we use. It's TATEMS. Look these guys up. Talk to Mark Redding. It works great for what we're doing. You can also track expenses on any piece of equipment. There's also a parts page here that you can actually organize, if I could find it. You can actually organize parts to look up if you have parts in an actual parts storage area. But we don't do that at all. But at any rate, there's a notes page so on and so forth. That's enough with talking about that. So we're gonna go ahead and start on this job here, getting these fan drive clutches removed from this tractor here. So we did talk to Kaz here when we ordered this stuff, and I said, is there something different that we can put on this tractor to get away from these fan drive and driven clutches? I want to say there was a setup for the choppers that use this engine to get away from this very cool system, but I don't think they have anything for the tractors here. These were not rebuildable, but now they do have a kit that you can rebuild these. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these ones that come off rebuilt and have them on our shelf. The 9560 uses the same drive and driven clutch. So we'll go ahead and start this process here. We'll have to take the fan off, get the belt off, get the shivs removed. The driven clutch comes off a lot easier. This guy here is awful heavy. We'll probably use the forklift with a couple of straps to get it in there, get it muscled in, and get it on there. So let's go ahead and get started here. Well, we are now ready to pull that secondary clutch off. We've got one bolt holding it, and we've got a strap here hooked up to the hood hinge. What I have, so that that hood hinge wouldn't come down, I ended up taking a piece of 1.25 inch angle iron, bolted it in them 2 bolt holes on that front engine cover, clamped a piece across the top so that that hood bracket can't come down. What we want to do is we want to basically get this secondary clutch off of there without dropping it down into the actual radiator. So we'll pull that one off, then we'll go over and unbolt the primary clutch and do the same thing with that one. That one's a little bit of a mongrel to get out of there because there's not a lot of room to work, and it's got a hub that sticks into the engine about that big. So we'll go ahead and pull that off of there. Alright, that worked very nicely to get that out of there. Now we've got to take a bunch of bolts out of that primary clutch to get that one removed. Got bolts all the way around here, and then we can put a strap around it. I might put this other shiv on too, but if I put this other shiv on, it might limit the ability to get it pulled out of this area that it's in. So let's go ahead and get these 10mm bolts out and get this muscled off of there. We got this secondary clutch sitting on the bench. This only weighs 60 to 80 pounds. And yeah. So this is where we've seen that piece of metal came from out of there. I don't know if it was like a shim that was wound up in behind this plate here or what, but that's what we seen. So we'll go ahead and I don't know if I showed you that shim or not. This is what came out of that clutch. It was all wound wound around this shaft here in behind the spring. It was kind of in there like that. So that's what led me to believe that we've got something going on here that we need to address right meow. So we'll work on the rest of this here. Okay, so we have this primary clutch all unbolted. I've got a strap hook to it. I've got one bolt still holding it in. We'll pry it off and we'll get it off in there. And hopefully we can get this down out of there without dropping it down into... You ready, Jared? You want to give me a hand with this?
I just came over to say I found this. A good battery.
Oh, you found my good battery, huh?
Yeah, I was charging it inside of my toolbox.
Oh, imagine that. So I've got that bolt out. Now hopefully it doesn't go dropping down in there. I'm hoping I got it good enough. Feels like I do. Yeah, just steady it so it don't go swinging like a wrecking ball. Because you know it's going to want to do that. Ow! That dropped right against my hand. I don't know. I think it's best if it comes up out through where I'm at. So see if you can pick it up and send it out through here. I don't think we can drop it down your way, can we? What's it look like?
Pretty hot right now. I can't do much with it.
Now pick it up some. I don't know if you can get a... Probably should have taken this alternator off there. I don't know. Yeah. Well.
Keep going the way you were going. What you were doing seemed like it would have came out.
Yeah, I think we got to crank this strap up here. So I haven't got to hold it anymore. There. Alright, that's holding there. Oh, can we turn that?
Earlier, I think you have to pick up on this one. It's not wedged.
Yeah, let me get a pry bar.
Wedged between the fan and... You couldn't take this fan out?
Actually, that would come out now. And then we would just have to put it in after the fact, you know? Yeah, why don't you see if you can...
You're against it.
Am I?
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to get that out with you.
Alright.
Hold on, let me turn. Is this caught? You're not against it anymore. The fan's caught now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can... Now I'm right into the shroud here. Actually, it's coming this way. Try to turn, can you try to turn that a little bit without dropping it? I got, it's caught on that bolt. I probably should have took that bolt out. Well, that might have turned it enough to be able to pull it right out through here. Alright, can you release that strap? Alright. Alright, I don't know how well this ladder is over here.
Got the ladder.
Alright. What am I leaning on, that hydraulic port?
Yeah. You're pretty.
Well, if I can balance it there, I can get down off of here. Get down on the floor. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. That didn't work too bad. Well, we'll muscle this from here over to the bench. And then we'll grab the new one and stuff it right back in there with the assistance of the ratchet strap. I don't know if it fits in and out of there. Is that strap still hooked? I'm all goofed in my pocket. There we go. Camera fell on the floor. Okay, so we'll just clean this area up. We'll do the same thing. We'll get the new one out of the box. And we'll put it in there the same way. Set it up on here, get our strap on there. Get it hanging like a good old wrecking ball. Stuff it in. And get her hooked up. So, yeah. All right, let's get our boxes open. Well, we're just going to start this reassembly process. Got the drive clutch there. We'll lift that up, set it right here, wrap a strap around it, run that up through the ratchet binder, strap binder, get it kind of hanging, push it into place, and hopefully it goes in as easy as it came out. So this has been done a couple times, and it looks like this fan shroud got cracked here a while ago. So we'll go ahead and get this up in there.
All we gotta do is take this fan shroud off and take these bolts out.
Yeah, but it goes up around the top.
Oh shit, it's not a two-piece. Like
No, it's a one-piecer. It's a one-piecer.
Where's your ratchet strap?
That's right there on the... Alright, let's lift this up on there. Alright. I'll steady it there. Wrap that strap around it, hog tie it. Alright. Alright, so now we got that. Now we're just going to lift this guy up and try to get it to go through here. How did we go before? Alright, you're going to need to.
Yeah, get it up on the thing and I'll ratchet it. Can you hold it there?
Yeah.
You got it there?
Yep. Alright, this ladder's giving away here. We just need to get this in there and then we'll jump right over to you. You need a fitting?
No, you need a hand.
Yeah. Watch your fingers here. I gotta reposition this ladder. Step back. Step back. Step back.
Do they have it? No?
Yeah, I'll pull that up some.
Give me a...
There we go. Watch your fingers in case that falls. Okay, let me step here. Move your arm.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Just caught. Alternator.
I think you gotta pick your...
There we go. Second, I don't know.
I think it's gotta turn.
Gotta come this way a little bit.
There?
Goes right there. There it is. Right on the money.
No fitting, huh?
Alright, we got that all in there.
Let's
So,
go on a little scavenger hunt.
yeah. We'll just get our bolts in. And we can go ahead and get this job finished up. Alright, so we've got this in there. We just got to get our bolts all in, get that tight. And then we'll put the secondary assembly in there. I don't know if this would go in from the other side better or not, but we've gone in and out of this side before, and that's the way we did it this time. So we'll be back at you in a little while here once we get all of our bolts in. Alright, now we got secondary clutch. Go ahead and force this up in there. This one's not as heavy. It's only weigh about a third. Look the other way. So, get the strap around half. And we'll then pull it up in there. Alright, so we got our first bolt in. We'll go ahead and put these other ones in. Alright, so we've just got to put another bolt in on that other side. And I've got some more work to do to that other clutch on the other side, and then we'll go ahead and get the belt on there. What do we got? We got a bolt right there we've got to take out. Yeah. Alright, so we'll get our strap released and we can be right on it here. Well, we've got everything hooked up, bolted up, and all we lack is to put the belt on and then bolt that fan up on that fan drive. So what we have done is we have removed the 4 bolts around this outer sheave. We'll pop that off. You have to be very careful. There is a shim that goes in on the back side of that sheave that comes up against the shaft that the bolts bolt the sheave to. I can show you that shim right here. So there is that guy. When you pull that sheave off, gotta make sure that shim didn't move on you. So we'll show you the difference between a new belt and the used belt. These are basically a snowmobile belt, and you could see a little bit of a difference there between these 2 belts. This one probably would have ran quite a bit or quite a while. However, it was making a noise, and had we run it until it ended up screwing itself up, we'd probably be doing this in the field. So we'll get that sheave off of there and throw this belt on, get our sheave back into place, get our fan on, and wrap this job up here. Well, that is just about going to wrap this up. We'll have to get it running, and I've got to retorque these 4 bolts on this drive sheave. They're all tight right now, but we'll go ahead and run it a little bit and get it up to speed. Torque them bolts down, and then that'll do it for this job. Alright, those are tight, so we'll run it wide open. See how it does there. All right, that will conclude this job. This tractor's got 10,124 hours on it. Those two clutches were $3,855. So we'll put that in the computer along with the hours that are on it. And then we can roll this out the door. So this tractor's been on a spreader most of the winter. And what they did was they were scraping all the mud off of it. That's why there's a bunch of mud on the floor. It needs a washing, but it's probably not going to get one. Or like typical fashion here, we'll wash it after we work on it. So that is going to do it for this one. We got some tools to put away. We're probably more than likely going to rebuild those fan drives ourselves. We'll see what that entails, and then we'll have them on the shelf for when we need them again. So I did talk to Jake, and he said they have it in the service bulletin that you're probably supposed to replace some bushings and some springs and what have you at 2,200 hours. That's really not acceptable. I asked him about the rigid style fan, in other words, something without the clutches, because I thought sure we had like a 7750 chopper that they took that off of and they put a regular straight drive on, but apparently the tractors can't have that put on there because of airflow. I don't know if it makes the fan run too fast or something, but it's not a kit that can be put onto the tractors. So that is going to do it. We've got some cleanup to do, and then yeah, that'll be it for me today. So we'll catch you guys at the next one. Thanks for watching, and yeah.